Attention please. This uploading is only for educational purpose. No intention to infringe copyrights. Learning English with subtitles. GPITRAL. Follow us.
This is Monkey World, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. With every animal comes a story. Some funny, some shocking. Dramas great and small. Today on Monkey Life, Jim and Allison are on a special mission to Mexico. They are here to collect a lively 3-year-old chimp called Brian, who's been mistreated by his owner.
He's a very happy, very healthy little boy.
Jim gets to fulfill an ambition.
Best of luck, fellas.
And there's frustration when Allison tries to track down an adult chimp called Coco. Rescuing primates is a crucial part of Monkey World's work. So far, the park has rescued 118 primates with the help of 15 governments around the world. Today, they're about to break new territory. Jim and Allison Cronin have travelled 5,000 miles away to Cancun in Mexico. It's their first rescue mission in this country, and it's for a young male chimpanzee called Brian.
Gracias. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sorry.
What?
It's all yours. Oh. He's got his mom. That's who. Oh, he's a good boy.
The mission to rescue Brian began a year ago. It hasn't been easy.
Good boy.
In October 2005, Hurricane Wilma hit Cancun. It took several weeks before anyone could confirm that Brian had survived the storm. And then, Jim and Allison were faced with pages of official paperwork and frustrating transatlantic bureaucracy. Finally, with the help of local conservationists Gloria Fraser and Sarah Rincon, Jim and Allison managed to get the Mexican authorities to confiscate Brian. Since then, he's been living at Escaret Eco Park. It's a 5-hectare conservation site, and a wide variety of native species live there. But chimpanzees are not native to Mexico, and it's important for Brian to grow up with other chimps, so Monkey World were asked to give him a home.
Come here. Good boy.
It seems the 3-year-old is already making quite an impression on Jim and Allison.
No. Good boy.
They will have daily meetings with Brian. It's important he gets to know them because it will make it easier for him to settle back into life at Monkey World.
Got him.
Yeah, I know.
I got him in a spot. Oh, he's a good boy. You know what I'm really happy about is he's a very happy, very healthy little boy. And it's great when a place like this has gone to so much trouble. He's been loved, he's been looked after, he looks terrific, and he's a lot of fun. That's a happy boy. Drink break.
Brian's story is typical of many chimps used in the tourist industry. He was stolen from the wild in West Africa and was being trained as a beach photographer's prop. He may have had a difficult start in life, but he's a very lively and sociable chimp, and Jim thinks he could make the perfect playmate for one of the park's cheekiest residents.
If I had to find one chimp that Seamus is gonna think it's like his little brother, it's like perfect for him. So, the only difference with him and Seamus, he's got no teeth and he's far too clean. Far too clean. Seamus is gonna muddy this boy up.
And back at the park in Brian's future home, Seamus is causing havoc, as usual. It will be fantastic for Seamus to have a new playmate, but hopefully not all of his naughty behaviour will rub off on Brian. The rest of the group are enjoying a new delicacy: young coconuts. which have extra soft flesh inside. It's the first time they've tried it. The chimps are always interested in anything new, especially food. 5-year-old Pip is usually quite shy, but even she is curious about this new treat. She takes some from Johnny. Johnny can be unpredictable, so it's very positive that she allows Pip to share. Seamus has stopped terrorizing adult female Lulu and has decided to see if she'll share with him. The little hooligan is used to getting spoiled by foster mum Sally, but Lulu isn't as much of a pushover. And she won't respond well to being challenged. Seamus is a determined young chimp who likes to get his own way. But today, even a tasty treat isn't worth a showdown with feisty Lulu. Foraging for food is an important part of chimp life. In the wild, they can cover up to 4 miles a day in search of something to eat. And a young chimp is totally dependent on its mum. They will learn everything from her, including how to forage and what food is safe to eat. Lulu and Sally are the only adults in the group, so the youngsters will learn from them. And although treats can cause squabbles, it's lovely to see the others join them without tempers getting flared. Hopefully Brian will fit in perfectly with this friendly bunch, as long as he's not learning the ropes from Seamus. But back in Mexico, Alison's finding out that Brian already has quite a lively personality.
Brian!
He doesn't want to let her out of his enclosure.
You're not gonna let me go! Are you not gonna let me go? Brian has decided I can't leave. We'll just have to trick you somehow, won't we?
Brian's found his mom. Brian actually found his mom. He's crazy about Allison.
We get on well.
He walked in there, and Brian just went, "That's it, this is over." And Brian just loved her.
In a few days, Jim and Alison will be taking Brian back to Monkey World. But before they go, there's something else they need to do. An adult female chimp called Coco needs their help too. Alison's been following her plight for over 3 years.
I've been receiving letters and photographs from tourists who come to Cancun on holiday and see Coco being paraded down the beaches in the midday sun, running from umbrella to umbrella, stealing people's drinks. And this photographer apparently takes Coco and sort of pushes her on top of tourists for photographs, asks for $10 for every photograph, and so he's working her on the beaches every day. I think even Coco is getting a bit tired of it because several of the reports have said that Coco has actually grabbed hold of women on the beach or even out on the street in Cancun and sort of tried to bite them. Sadly for Coco, she's had all of her teeth knocked out in the front, so when she tries to bite somebody, she doesn't do any harm. But nonetheless, you know, that side of her chimp behavior is coming out and she's objecting.
Coco is actually owned by the same man who bought Brian. But because Brian was so young, he had a very lucky escape.
I think the problem here is that the Mexican authorities see it is extremely difficult to try to confiscate this chimpanzee that's 20 years old. But when Brian appeared, and all of a sudden we've got the baby to one day replace Coco, they've grabbed Brian, and the question really is, will they, can they, take that next step to do something about Coco?
It's personal now. We know Coco. I've got photographs of Coco. I could pick Coco out of a lineup. I don't think we'll rest until we get Coco confiscated and then back to the park.
Jim and Alison are desperate to catch a glimpse of Coco. They want to see for themselves the sort of life she's leading. So they search all the places Coco has been spotted. And at last, as night falls, they get a lead on where she will be tonight.
We've been going through the shopping centers, the beaches, in the midday sun, doing exactly what Coco does, and I can tell you right now, it's hard, hot work, but finally, at the end of today, we had a tip-off.
There's miles of beach here. There's a lot of shops, a lot of places you can be at any given time. To find out that we might know where she's gonna be at 7 o'clock tonight, that's phenomenal. If we see her tonight, and when we see her tonight, she's been working since this morning. Now, apparently, she works from 7 at night till 10 at night. So poor Coco is working at 12, 13, 14-hour day, and that's the life that she leads.
But Coco does not show up. Although they're disappointed, there is some good news. The police are going to raid Coco's owner's house. They might even confiscate her, and they've asked Jim and Allison to come with them. Coco is a fully grown chimp, and the police are worried that she could become violent. They need support from some experts in chimp behavior.
We've been told that actually on Monday the police would like us to accompany them and actually go to the Mound's house and either have a look at Coco. We're not quite clear what they're saying yet. It's not quite straightforward whether they want us to just have a look at her and consider her circumstances, or whether they simply want to take her on Monday and take her to Escaret to be dealt with in future.